All right, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, can everybody hear me? Okay. Just like with any other Zoom meeting, if you have any questions, feel free to bring them up. I'm pretty casual on that, so if you just want to talk, that's fine. Also, if you want to put it in the chat window, that's fine. I think might even be a ask a question or something. Feel free to do any of that. Today is going to be pretty late. Basically, I just want to go over the introduction to this course. So hopefully everybody's here for MSE 403, ceramic engineering and processing. So basically, I just want to go over the intro material, go over the syllabus, show you the Canvas page, and then we will start with the content. I'll upload those videos for the rest of the week, but we'll start with kind of this session. So like I said, this is for MSE 403G. So I just want to show you how it's going to be laid out for the semester, where to go if you have information, if you want information, things like that. So I'm going to start by going to our Canvas page, just so you see kind of the layout if you haven't already looked at it. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. So this is similar to maybe what your MSE 403 homepage will look like. There won't be much in terms on the activity page on the very beginning. Announcements. Definitely, if you got this, you're in this chat, you probably have gotten that announcement. Make sure, I would say make sure you get those by email, so you can go into the settings if that isn't the case. That way you get anything I have as an announcement. Hopefully that it gets emailed to the entire class. Over here, obviously you can see all the stuff that's available, all the assignments that will be go in this semester. I've put in all the homeworks, the Weibel project, which I'll talk about a little bit later, the exam and the final exam. Quizzes, I have the first quiz, but those I tend to upload kind of week by week. So even though you don't see one, these will be occur most weeks. I'll show you on the schedule to let you know when those would be. So even if you don't see it, I will upload it before the week. So right now we just have the first. Discussions. If you want to ask a question, I will periodically check the discussions. Right now I don't have one, but I'll start a new one in case you want to do that. You're free to ask questions by email or set up a Zoom meeting or come to my office hours via Zoom as well. And then grades, this is where you can see your grades. Mine's obviously going to be different than yours. So you can go there for that. People probably won't need to do much with that. Files. This is just where I have everything, all the files for this class uploaded. So I try to organize it by what it is, so syllabus, lectures, or assignments. So that will all be there. I also have there's a syllabus tab where you can find the actual syllabus and then the kind of compiled version that Canvas gives you. We'll go back and look at this in a second. But other things, you can find the quizzes here as well. The modules, this is going to be the other component that you're probably going to want to look at quite a bit. So this is going to be sort of the main portal for where you're going to get all the information for lectures and so forth. So I have it organized by week, so you can see kind of the structure already here. I have all the other weeks started, but obviously there's nothing in them yet. But basically what I will do is I'll have any assignments in the module. I'll also though make a kind of home page for that week. So if I click this is the week 1 overview. And this is something that if you were in my classes last semester, you might have seen. But basically what I have is I'll have a lectures section. And so this will have access to all of the lectures that I post. So you'll see here the first day is basically what we're doing right now. It's the link to my personal Zoom room, and then with the password there as well. I will upload the video in case some people couldn't make it or you want to go revisit something. I will upload the video and put a link to that as well. And then when I have asynchronous content, I'll upload the videos below as well. And I divide those up into modules. So basically, instead of trying to give you one big long, like 50-minute lecture, what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize the content based on what we're talking about. So it'll probably be in chunks of 5 to 15 minutes. I try to max out, sometimes a little longer, but in that kind of 5 to 15-minute range. So it's easier to view. And so I'll upload the modules for a given lecture. And so my goal will be to try to have everything for that week by Monday or Tuesday at the very latest. But I want to try to have it up at the beginning of the week if it's all asynchronous material, so that you can kind of look through it at your own kind of pace. So all of those videos will be here. I'll also put any readings that I kind of expect for that week, and then just links to the assignments down here as well, even though you can kind of find those in the module page. So I just think it's nice to have one kind of place to put everything for that week. So that's kind of how I'm going to lay it out for the given weeks. And I'll typically send out an email letting you know when things are posted for that week, so you don't have to just kind of keep looking. So that's kind of how I'll lay it out for each week in the sort of module structure. Okay, so and then there's a bunch of other stuff too, but those are going to be the main things that you're going to want to look at for Canvas. So let's go back and look at the syllabus and kind of just, I want to give you an overview, and that's really all. I'll field some questions if you have any, but yeah. So again, this is MSE 403, ceramic engineering and processing. So we're going to look at the sort of structure, properties of specific to ceramics, and then also look at processing, because a lot of those are kind of tied specifically to ceramics. I'll be your instructor. I think I saw a bunch of you this morning in 407, so you're going to see me a couple times a day, most likely. But in case you weren't in that, my name is Tom Koschel. I'll be your instructor. The email's there. This is going to be the best way to get a hold of me. I try to give you kind of a expectation on my returns. As you know, for most faculty, it can be a chore sometimes. So I will try to get back to you as quick as possible. I will try in 24 hours on weekdays. And then sometimes on the weekends, it's going to take longer because I'm not constantly glued to my computer. So it could take up to 48 hours over the weekend. So as you're kind of looking at assignments and thinking about questions, kind of keep that in mind. So if you're working on your assignments on Saturday and Sunday, you can't really expect that I'm going to be able to get back to you in 30 minutes. It might happen, but you can't kind of expect it every week. So just kind of keep that in mind. Yeah, let me know as soon as you can. Office hours. I've put my tentative office hours down here. I always call them tentative because you guys are basically my primary students because you're in 2 of my classes. So if there are issues with the times that I have listed there, I need to know that so I can reschedule. So if those don't work, please let me know this week. If you have a major class conflict or something like that, let me know, and I will try to either add an office hour or maybe just move one. So those are always an option. And also, you can always kind of try to schedule something with me via email as well. So I won't have a typical office and office hours. It'll be via Zoom. So it'll be the same link that kind of everything is. So down here, you can see the office hour location, which is just the address. Same one, if you haven't figured out by now, it's the same address basically for everything because it is my personal Zoom room. So you can use that for everything. Same password for everything. Our TA is going to be Connor Varney. You probably won't have to have too much interaction with him. Maybe if you have a question over homework grading or something like that, we can chat. But for the most part, you can kind of go through me, and if we need to bring him in, we can do that. I'll kind of skip the prereqs and stuff like that. I'll assume if you're here, everything is good to go. Same thing with the description and outcomes. Those are kind of left there for you. This class will be, as it says, focused on ceramics. So there will be a lot of material you might have had bits of, but we'll try to do that, but apply it specifically to ceramics and give you that kind of context from a ceramics point of view. And there'll also be some additional things that maybe aren't covered in other classes that may be focused on metals or polymers. The next important thing is the textbook, the required textbook. I think I've got it here. So if you, I've got the name and everything there, but this is the textbook. It is the second edition. This is where you'll be getting the reading for the course, and also some assignments, although I tend to put the assignments, homework assignments, I tend to put those on the script. So you might not even need that for those, but it's less expensive than some of the ceramics textbooks. It's a little smaller, even if you don't have to carry it around, but I think it's a really good kind of intro textbook for this class. So you can find that in the bookstore, Amazon, wherever you get books. So let me know if you have questions about the textbook. I think they might have a newer edition, but the second should be fine, and that's what the UK bookstore has. So everything should be good on that. Technology-wise, there's really no additional software or anything like that you're going to need for this class. Access to Canvas, obviously you'd probably have something like Microsoft for other things. So that's really the majority of what you're going to need. So there won't be any additional things like that. All right, so let's kind of get into the activities that we're going to have this semester, assignments, and kind of how that's going to be different than a typical semester. So the first thing I'll just mention, if it isn't already apparent, but this is obviously an online course. There is going to be a kind of a mixture of asynchronous. That will be the majority of the class, but I am up for more synchronous stuff, live discussions, if we decide that is more useful. Right now, the way that I have this kind of planned out is that we will do, basically I will upload our kind of lecture videos to YouTube. The links there, I will link them in the module page that you just saw. So you'll have easy access to them. And then there will be a quiz that kind of accompanies that week's worth of content to kind of keep you kind of paced on the videos and so forth. So there'll be questions on those. And these are meant to be, they're not meant to be super in-depth, challenging questions, just stuff to kind of a first glance at the videos, make sure you're following along, maybe a little bit of kind of synthesis, but nothing sort of groundbreaking. I just want you to kind of follow along and make sure you're keeping up with those videos. And so those will typically be weekly quizzes that you can see on the schedule as well. Like I said, it'll mostly be that asynchronous. I'm leaving the door open here a little bit because if there's a big enough demand, if people do not like the style and so forth, I'm willing to look at changing a bit. This is a difficult situation, not only for you guys, which I know, but also for me, it's not the easiest way to do things. So I'll kind of take comments and feedback through the early part of the semester. And if something's not working, I can try my best to kind of shift focus a little bit, and we can try something different if that's what the class wants. So kind of keep that open. I'm not here to just like make your life more difficult. I want to try to make it get through the situation as best we can. So let me know if there's anything that I can do to kind of accommodate that. Like I said, the quizzes are going to be kind of weekly. And then homeworks, I kind of lessened up the homeworks this semester just because I know you have a lot of stuff and that the online kind of makes it more difficult. So instead of weekly homeworks, we're going to have every other week homeworks. And those are already kind of sketched out in the tentative schedule. So you can see those in Canvas and on the last page of the syllabus. So, but yeah, I just this is where we're doing a little bit more problem solving than what you see on the quizzes. The main difference from this and a lot of other classes, just having homeworks and lectures and exams, the main difference here will be this Weibull project. So this will be kind of our one difference. Basically, this is a project that you'll do in small groups. This year it might be a little bit smaller groups, but basically this is something that we typically do in the lab. And how I'm going to structure this, this won't be until March, but the actual activity part of this project is in person. But I do want to make that caveat that if somebody doesn't feel comfortable coming in, or if they can't make it due to illness or whatever during that 2-week period, that I will make accommodations for this. But this will be an opportunity to kind of be in person and do this activity. But again, I can make arrangements if that doesn't work. So we will kind of talk more about that as that kind of March 1st week comes faster. And so we'll have an activity related to kind of testing and thinking through what happens with Weibull statistics, which if you were in 407 this morning, you might have heard me talk about it as well. So it'll kind of double dip for both of these classes, but it'll be an activity to get you kind of more familiar with this Weibull project. And so I have basically a 2-week period where we can do this activity. It will be scheduled. So you'll I'll make a schedule on Canvas. You'll determine when you want to come in to do the activity. We'll set that up, we'll do that. And then the actual report part of it won't be for basically a month after. But I'm leaving ourselves a 2-week window so that we can get all of these activities done. And like I mentioned, if you don't feel comfortable or can't, because for whatever reason, we can arrange this elsewhere as well. So I'm going to try to be as accommodating as possible on that part. Okay, exams. There will be 2 exams. In addition, there will be a final. So if you want to think about it as 3 total, there will be 3 exams throughout the semester. I tried to make them roughly equally spaced so that there's not like an exam right at the end of the semester and then another in finals week. So they are kind of split into thirds for the semester. I'm not a big fan of messing with all the test administration software that's out there. I think some of you probably have experience with some of the different stuff that's out there trying to like kind of monitor you while you're taking exams. I'm not really a big fan of trying to do all that for this. So basically, we're going to do more of a take-home style for the exams. So basically, I have the dates for the exams on the schedule. What I'll do a week or 2 before the exam is kind of ask your opinion on what kind of time frame you would like around that time. And so basically what will happen is I'll give you 2 days for the exam. I'll post it the morning of one day, and then the next day at the end of the day, you'll have to resubmit your completed exam. So we'll do it more take-home style, and you'll have more than the kind of prescribed 1 hour time frame to do it. I just think this is a lot easier, a lot less stressful on all of us. So I will be kind of going on the honor system though. So make sure that you try to do this as honestly as possible without external sources and things like that. So, but again, I'll show you the schedule here in a second, so you can kind of see when those exams are scheduled. And the final exam, there will be a final exam, but I'll treat this more like a third exam. So it won't be cumulative. It'll basically just be the third exam of the semester. So it'll be similar in structure, similar in length to the others during the semester. It'll just be a way to kind of get that third exam. So, and so that our window for the final exam is Tuesday, May 11th. At 8 a.m., but the time doesn't really matter for this. It'll just be basically around that day. So I'll give you a similar kind of 2-day time frame to work on that exam. And again, like always, I'll kind of put out a poll before these exams to see what kind of time frame you guys would want for those exams. Makeup assignment wise, like it says here, I don't have basically, unless you have an excused absence, there won't be any sort of makeups. At this point, I think you guys could probably know what the makeups are, illness, death in the family, things along those lines. If there are things out there that are scheduled, that are excused absences, let me know ahead of time and we'll get something worked out. But the class is already pretty flexible, so keep that in mind. But I'll try to give you as much accommodation on that as possible. And also, this is obviously a more challenging time than normal. So I will be as accommodating as I can on makeups, or if you're having difficulty with the class or just your schedule this semester, let me know. I'm a pretty reasonable person, so just let me know, and I'll try to be as accommodating as I can within the kind of the bounds of this class. So okay, so grading, that's probably something that you're curious about. So the grade breakdown goes 10% to those quizzes, and again, like I said, these are roughly weekly quizzes. The homework is roughly bi-weekly. I put roughly because sometimes the exam kind of breaks up that schedule. So exams will be another 10%. This Weibull project that we have is going to be 5%. So it's small, but it is still noticeable. It can affect grades. So don't kind of let that go. And then basically if you view the exams all together, they're all exams are 75%, each of them being 25%. So that's going to be a large portion of your grade, but the other stuff adds up, and so don't kind of forget about those aspects. And then I have a very typical grading scale for that. Attendance and participation, those are a little different with this online model. So basically the way I kind of evaluate that, which isn't on the schedule at all, but the way I kind of look at that is that's kind of encompassed in these quizzes. If you're watching the videos, completing the quizzes, that's kind of showing me that you're doing the typical things that would be expected in this class if it was in person. So make sure you're keeping up with those viewings. And I typically break things down by day just so that you have an idea of the pacing. If you want to view it all at once and get it done on Monday, that's fine. But if you want to kind of pace it out like the typical semester would be, I have that kind of option for you in those in the pacing. So kind of keep in mind that. And then obviously keep in mind that I have office hours. If those are an issue, let me know. If you want to set something else up outside, we can use the discussion boards. Really, I want to be there as whatever way works best for you guys. So let me know about that, any issues you're having with those. All right, so let's quickly go over the schedule. So I have a rough schedule, and I have it broken down into per day. So you can see for the 25th, which is today, this is introduction to the course. I have the reading, which is really kind of meant to be for the next day. So you can kind of keep up with the readings. These are the page numbers in our course textbook, so Barsum. So that's what these readings are. And then if anything's due, I'll have it over here. I actually didn't put the quizzes, but those will be more or less, I didn't put those because it'll be every week unless we have some type of exam. So you can kind of just assume that there's going to be a weekly quiz for any given week here. So the first homework will be due not this week, but the next week after that. So yeah, so you can kind of just see what topic we're doing that day, any readings that we need to do. If it says supplement, I have a few PDFs for you to read throughout the semester. So I'll upload those and I'll make sure that there's links in the module page so you can find them easily. And yeah, this just kind of goes through the tentative schedule. I'll try to stick to this as close as possible because of the way that videos are. Sometimes it can go faster or slower, and so we might get a little off schedule, but I think we should be pretty close to this schedule throughout the semester. So that's kind of where everything's at. We've got the one, if you want to look forward to March, we've got that one day off. I don't know if you want to call that spring break or not, but we've got that one day off, and then I've got the exams listed. So right now, those exams are listed on Fridays. So this is where the kind of option for you as we get closer to those comes in. If you would prefer to keep it around that Friday, I could give you a Thursday, Friday window to do the exam, or if you'd prefer earlier in the week, we can arrange that. So I'm kind of fluid on when we schedule those, as long as it's somewhere roughly around that time. And I think most people would probably prefer not to have it over the weekend. So I'll try to avoid that as well. Yeah, so that's kind of the rough schedule that we have here. There's some other policies that you can kind of look through that I have here. Probably see them in a lot of your other classes as well. So there's not much change there. I really only have a couple other things to mention. So like I said, typically the beginning of the, I'll go back to the module page. So typically for the beginning of the week, I'll try to have it by Monday, but Tuesday at the absolute latest, I'll try to have all the content for that week loaded. So right now I do not have that ready to go. It should be ready tomorrow, but I'll have all of the module videos posted here in the lectures, and I'll have the quiz ready to go for you as well. So I'm a little bit behind this week, just getting ready for today's lecture and everything else. So that will be all posted. And when I do that, I'll send you an email just so that you know. But if I get stuff done early, I might post it as well. So you can always feel free to take a look at that. You can also just kind of look at the YouTube page. Everything's labeled pretty reasonably, so you should be able to tell what day and stuff it's for. So I'll try to have that all really well labeled and so forth. So yeah, so typically I would have it done by today, and then you would be able to go through those videos at your kind of own pace and so forth. So yeah, so that's kind of the layout of the class and what we'll be doing this semester. As we get closer to certain things like the project and exams, we'll go in more detail on what those are composed of, but that's just something to sort of keep in mind for this semester. So with that, does anybody have kind of any questions over the how it's laid out, the syllabus, any sort of questions at all related to the class? Very talkative bunch.
Are the exams like closed notes, closed books?
So they are kind of take-home style exams. So obviously I don't have complete control over you when in that sort of scenario, but I do ask that you basically sort of cut yourself off from other people. Obviously, you're going to have your exam, your book kind of with you. So the kind of trade-off there is that instead, because of that, I'll assume that you have all the equations and stuff like that. So I'm not going to give you like an equation sheet or anything like that. So I'll kind of assume that you have that, but I would ask that you do not talk to others, look on the internet, look up questions, anything like that. They will be questions that I make, so it'll be harder to look at them, but I'll kind of account for that in the exams. But yeah, more or less it'll be open book exams for this class. Anything else? Well, all right. If there's no more questions, I'll let you go for now. I will be working on the lecture videos for this week, so I'm going to try to get those to you as soon as I can. So I'll give you an email update when those are ready. And again, go to the module page. I'll try to link it as well for that. And yeah, have a good first week. And most of you I'll see on Wednesday for 407. But everybody else, keep a lookout for the videos. All right. Thank you, guys.